There are various topics that I am going to cover today. The first main topic is IP security. So, have a look at the IP security objective. So, what is the objective of learning IP security? First, we are supposed to do the same. So, IP security is concerned with Internet Protocol security, mean to say, whenever any kind of information is shared over the network, then we are supposed to follow some security measures behind the same. In that manner, our information that is being transmitted between two parties could be considered as secure. So there are various IP security measures that could be followed, and we are supposed to discuss the same. So the main objective is to learn various security protocols in the IP security network class. So this is the outline about my today's lecture. So IP security overview, IP security architecture would be discussed. Authentication header, what is authentication header, what is the encapsulation security payload, what is combining security associations, and what is key management. So these are the topics that I am going to cover in the today's lecture. So have a look at first IP over security overview. So what is IP security overview? That is the standard internet communication protocol. It is completely unprotected. As we know, nowadays, or I can say in today's era, we are completely relying on internet. Now, if I am discuss about today's era, I am taking online classes from home, and I am taking the help of internet only, and that is only reliable connection for me on which I could easily rely. There is no other medium that I can use for exchanging any kind of information with students online, or it could be related to any personal activity that I am going to share. So main network is today's internet. So the standard internet communication protocol is completely unprotected, because when we download information, when we transmit any information over the network, it is not reliable network that we are following, because we need some kind of security for the same, because it is unprotected. Why it is unprotected? There could be huge number of violators that could exist in between to have a control over the information that is being sent over the network. Because if we are enjoying the benefits of the internet, then there could be some disadvantages that are also associated with the internet, and as a result, the loss could be huge if we are not aware about the disadvantages. So we could overcome those disadvantages by following various security measures. So we are going to study about the same today. So the standard internet communication protocol is completely unprotected. It allows host to inspect or modify data in transition. So adding IP security to the system, it will resolve this limitation by providing strong encryption, integrity, authentication, and replay protection. So these are the terms that we have already discussed in network security class. Now we are going to again discuss these terms one by one. So this is the basic definition of IP security overview. So what is the security problem basically? Because we are concerned with IP security today. So today internet is mainly consist of two main things, that is public, untrusted, and unreliable IP network. So these are the main things of which internet is mainly associated with. It is public, it is untrusted, or it could be unreliable IP network. So because of this inherent lack of security, the internet is subject to various types of threats. Threats mean to say there could be various types of dangers that could be posed. There could be vulnerability issues that could be there. So what are internet threats? First is integrity. So the contents of the packet can be accidentally or deliberately modified. Accidentally, that is the another case, but deliberately modified. Now, how the contents of the packet could be modified, that is being transmitted between two parties. Let's say there is an active attacker. A is the sender, B is the receiver. So there is some active hacker in between, and whatever A is sent via network, in between there is a hacker who is having overview about, or I can say who is having control about the information that is exchanged between the A and the B. He is intentionally modifying the message that is sent by the sender to the receiver. After modifying that information, it is being sent to the receiver. So, in this way, the data integrity is lost. So, the contents of the packets can be accidentally or deliberately modified. So, next is identity spoofing. Spoofing mean to say origin ही change कर देना. Mean to say the origin of an IP packet can be forged. Origin mean to say from where it is being originated, mean to say from my email account it is being sent. But the hacker has changed all the credentials of the originator. Hacker has changed all the credentials of the originator. So in this way, IP packet at the origin site can be forged. Forged mean to say जिसको हम बोलते हैं it is a duplicate signature. So anti-reply attacks, that is unauthorized data could be retransmitted. It could be retransmitted as and when required. Loss of privacy could be there. The contents of the packet can be examined in transit. By unauthorized users, obviously those could be the users who are have control over the information that is being sent over the network. So next is these are four layers that we are going to discuss. First is security at what level? That is application layer level, transport layer level, network layer level, data link layer level. So these are all the levels that you might have studied in the CN class, computer network class. So I'm just going to give you an overview about the same. What is application layer? It is concerned with pretty good services. It is concerned with Kerberos that we have already discussed, or it could be associated with SSH algorithm. Next is transport layer. It could be concerned with transport layer security. Network layer is concerned with IP security. Data link layer is concerned with hardware encryption. So next is we are supposed to encapsulate the data of the network delivery. So first is application layer. It will send the original message. It is concerned with the original message that it is originating at its site. So an application layer, original data, it is being sent to the transport layer, which is having TCP protocol or UDP protocol. That is data 3. You might have studied the same. There are 6 layers of the TCP protocol, and you have studied all the layers in the CN class. So that is why I am not giving stress on the same. So you are supposed to have a look at the process that is being happening in the IP security process. So this is the application layer. It is sending some kind of original message to the transport layer at data 3. So what is happening here? Application layer, original message is there, data is there. We are supposed to add header here. So header is being added to the data. So next is again there is some data that is available at the second layer, that is network layer. So we are going to transmit the data from transport layer to network layer. Now we are again supposed to add the header. So that is header 2 because we are concerned with the layer 2 data. So next is data link layer. So all this is the data and this is the header 1 that is being added to the data so that it could be easily understand if we are adding the header. Now packet sent by host A. So what could be that header 1 plus there is a stream of data that is being added to the same and it is happened at the data link layer. So this is whole considered as a one packet that is starting from the header till the ending of the data. So this is one packet that is being transmitted over the network. So this is the packet that would be sent by the host A. Packet received by intermediary routers. So that could be network layer, that could be network layer. So it is being sent to the intermediate router, that acts as an interface between the layers. So that is network layer. Data is exchanged. That is why two communication is bidirectional communication is there. Either it is going or it is receiving, sending and incoming data and outgoing data. Now decapsulation of the data from network delivery, that is data layer. Header 1 is separated and data 1 is separated. So this is the case that is happened here in decapsulation. Encapsulate mean to say, for example, capsule. You can take the layman example of capsule. Capsule mean to say we are supposed to combine the two medicines into one. That is why we are consuming it as one capsule. So decapsulation, again we are supposed to decompose it into the two things. So same is the case with encapsulation and decapsulation. So this is the network layer which is receiving the data and which is receiving the header as well. So network layer is concerned with the data only. Now it is sent to the transport layer. Because they are having only concern with the data. So that is why it is left with data only. Now application layer will receive the original message that is being processed after passing it through all the layers of the protocol. So in this manner, this protocol works. Again, I am repeating the same step. Have a look at the same. How does it originate? There are four layers in which we are supposed to uh, transmit the data. Application layer, where the message is originated. Transport layer, network layer, and the last is data link layer. So application layer is concerned with pretty good services, Kerberos, SSH. Transport layer is concerned with transport layer security. Obviously, it is concerned with the transport concepts. Network is concerned with networking concepts, for example, IP security. Data link layer is concerned with hardware encryption. So we are going to start the process one by one. Have a look at the same. So encapsulation of the data network delivery. First of all, application layer will send original message. Then it will be transmitted to the transport layer, which is containing the protocols, that is where the two protocols are residing, TCP and UDP. So it is sending data to the transport layer. So transport layer will add some kind of header to the data. So in this manner, it could be represented with the help of the diagram so that you can easily understand the same. So next it is being sent to the network layer, and network layer will again consider this as the data and it will again add a new header for the network layer. So this is the network layer header. So next is data link layer, which is receiving the data. So this will be treated as whole packet that would be sent to the network. Now it is one directional, or I can say unidirectional, monodirectional. Original message is sent to this layer is sending data to this layer, and this layer is sending data to this layer. When it becomes a packet, then it could become, the conversation could become bidirectional. How does that happen? Have a look at the same. So packet is received by the intermediating router. So at the data link layer, there was header 1, and this is the data. So data 1 is there. Network layer, data 2, header 2. So this is the communication process. Network layer, data 2. Transport layer is concerned with data 3. So header 3, as it is received. Data 3 as it is received after removing the header, original message is being fed to the application layer. So this is the whole process that is happening in the IP security with the help of the four layers, that is network layer, transport layer, data link layer, and application layer. So what is basically IP security? It is concerned with authentication, confidentiality, and key management. So IP level security, it is consist of three functional areas: authentication, confidentiality, and key management. So what are those three terms that are being associated with IP security? Have a look at the same. Authentication. The authentication mechanism ensures that the received packet was sent by the identified source. Why we use authentication? We have learned a lot about authentication. We have learned a lot about authentication. We always say authentication, authentication, authentication. Now, what does authentication mean? Authentication means to say intended receiver is receiving my information. So that is why this protocol is being used here. Authentication. So authentication mechanism ensures that received packet was sent by the identified source. So it also assures that the packet has not been altered in the transition process. Next is confidentiality. What does confidentiality mean to say? Confidentiality mean to say the information is as it is received by the sender, as it is being originated from the originator side. So there is the privacy of the information that is being maintained and it is not being leaked via network. So the confidentiality facility, it enables communicating nodes to encrypt messages to prevent eavesdropping by third party. So next is we are provided with the third term, that is key management. So it is concerned with secure exchange of key. Key management, as the name implies, it is concerned with securely we are supposed to exchange the key. It could be if we are using any kind of algorithm, it could be DES algorithm or AES algorithm or any other security algorithm that we are going to use, that are every algorithm is associated with certain key, so that after applying that key, then we can obtain the plain text that is being transmitted over the network. So that is why key management is the main concept that is being discussed here in IP security. So these are main three terms that are being associated with IP security. Have a look at the same again: authentication, confidentiality, and key management. So next is IP security scenario that we have already discussed, but you can have a pictorial representation of the same. What does it say? I'm supposed to enlarge it. Just have a look at the same. Then I will just adjust the same. Now have a look at the system. There is a system, user system, where we can apply IP security, and it is the system where we have provided IP security. Now what does IP security mean? It means we are supposed to follow four layers: application layer, transport layer, data link layer, and network layer. So these are the four layers which we have to go through so that we can follow the procedure. So IP header is there, IP security header is there, mean to say two headers are being used. Next is secure IP payload that is being inserted as well. So this is transmitted over the network. It is the public network or it could be a private network depending on the requirement. So it could be public network, it could be private network. So what could be my message? That could remain the same: IP header, IP header, IP security header, IP security header, secure IP payload, secure IP payload. So next, there is a networking device that is with IP security. Again, there is some networking device that is with IP security. So this is the whole process of IP security that is explained with the help of the picture. So again, it is converting my information, that is IP payload, IP header. So that is being transmitted. And again, here it is transmitted IP header and IP payload. So here it is also going to the server. It is also attached with the server here, but here it is only attached with the, if it is public network, then it is attached with the server here, but private, it is provided to the dat system which is having the IP security. So this is the whole concept of the IP security that is being explained here. If you are having any query regarding same, you can ask me, because I am again adjusting the picture to a slide so that it could fit into my slide. So if you are having any query, you can ask me any question. So next is, what are the applications of IP security, that is Internet Protocol Security. So there are four applications that are being depicted here. So the first one is secure branch. Obviously IP security, as the name implies, security. So what would be the use of IP security? To provide security. So what it is providing in the security? Secure branch office connectivity over the internet, secure remote access over the internet, establishing extranet and intranet connectivity with partners, enhancing electronic commerce security. So these are the four types of security that is being provided in the IP security. So I can say these are the applications of IP security. Have a look at the applications again. If you are having any query, you can ask me any question. So next is, what are the benefits of IP security? What are the benefits of IP security? So we are going to discuss about the benefits of IP security. What are those? It provides strong security when implemented in the firewall. Firewall means to say either it can allow the traffic or it can block the traffic. Router from which the network passes, or I can say from which the traffic pass through. So that can be applied to all traffic using the perimeter. IP security is resistant to bypass if all traffic from the outside must use IP, and the firewall is the only way of entrance from the internet into the organization. Third is below transport layer, hence transparent to the applications. Next is, it can be transparent to end users, because there are four layers that are being used, and each layer that is being used is transparent to any other layer that is below that particular layer that is operating anything. So it can provide security for individual users if needed. It can provide security for individual users if needed. So next is various documents that are concerned with IP security. Have a look at all the documents that are concerned with IP security. What are those? The first one is architecture. Architecture of the IP security, in which four layers are there, and we are supposed to define the process of IP security, how messages are being sent from sender side to receiver side with the help of the IP security. So what is the architecture? It covers the general concept, security requirements, definitions, mechanisms defining the IP security technology. Second is authentication header that we have used. Why we have used authentication header? So that it could be received by the intended user. After receiving the header, we remove the header and we just obtain the data part that is being sensitive to the organization. So what is authentication header here? It is an extension header to provide message authentication. So current specification is RFC 4302 that we have used in Kerberos mechanism. So next is encapsulating security payload. Consists of an encapsulating header and trailer. Header B, it is consist of header as well as a trailer. Header part is there and ending part is there, trailer part is there. That is used to provide encryption or combined encryption plus authentication. So the current specification used is 4303. In authentication header, RFC 4302 is used. In encapsulation, there is 4303. We have already discussed about RFC in Kerberos mechanism. So next is internet key exchange. That is, we are supposed to exchange the keys that are being used for securing the information over the network. So a collection of documents that describe the key management schemes that we are going to use in IP security. So we are going to explain the same. Next is cryptographic algorithm. Now, what are cryptographic algorithm? As the name implies, cryptographic algorithms. Why we use cryptography algorithm? So that we can convert our plain text into some another medium, and that could be possible with the help of some algorithms. If we are using any kind of algorithm, there could be various steps that might be involved in the same, and after using those steps, we are completely converting our data into some another form that could not be easily understood by the person who is actively or passively hacking the system. So it is not the cup of the tea for that person who is trying to hack the data that is being transmitted between two parties. So that is why we are supposed to use cryptographic algorithms here. So what is cryptographic algorithm? It includes large set of documents that define and describe cryptographic algorithms that are used for encryption, message authentication, pseudo-random functions, and cryptographic key exchange. Because in every algorithm that we are going to use in network security, there is a key that is being associated with the same. Let's say if we are talking about the DES algorithm, then it is based on 64-bit data, and 8-bit could be loosed in the transaction. So there is a 56-bit key that is being used for 64-bit algorithm. So after performing the 16 rounds in the DES algorithm, that is also a cryptographic algorithm. After performing the 16 round, and further each round is various concerned with various 7 to 8 steps further, in which there is a lot of permutation, lot of combination that is has to be performed. In addition, there is a substitution that is also associated with the same. So after going through all the steps, it must be the case that they have completed the first step, and after first step they are supposed to repeat the same, and there are total 16 number of rounds. And after 16 number of rounds, again there is some confusion. What is the confusion? That is left hand side half, because it is converted into left half and right half. If there is a 64-bit data, then it is converted into 32-bit left hand side and 32-bit right hand side. So left hand side data could be fed to the right hand side, and right hand side 32-bit could be fed to the left hand side. And after performing all the computations, in the end those could be combined, and there are various several permutation and combinations that could be applied again to the that technique. And after applying that technique, our text is converted into the ciphertext. So if you know, it is a huge process for, or I can say complex process for cryptographic algorithm, except especially DES. So it is very difficult to understand the concept, but not for the hackers, because they are generally used to with these methods, and it is the part of their daily routine. So they are just like comfortable with any algorithm that is being presented to them, be it complex algorithm, be it simple algorithm. But whoever the sender is, he should have to take care of the schemes that he has to implement while he is transferring the data, so that he could ensure his 100% while he is transmitting the data. Rest, everybody is there to hack the data. It is being dependent on their capability. Either they could hack particular algorithm or not. So it is their capacity. But whatever the sender is sending, he is performing 100% at his side, or I can say he is dedicated toward his network data that is being transmitted. But if due to some, I can say accidentally, if any mishap happens in between, because there are so many creepers that want to hack information, and they are quite, I can say, qualified to hack the information, because if they are having exposure about the DES, then they can easily hack the system. If they are further, there could be new creepers who are having exposure about AES. Further, there are new creepers who are having exposure about SHA. So in this manner, they could attack any information system that is being built. So in this manner, cryptographic algorithms work. Next is domain interpretation. What is domain interpretation? Domain of the interpretation. It contains values that are needed for the other documents to relate to each other. So these include identifiers for approved encryption and authentication algorithms, as well as operational parameters such as key lifetime. So next is security associations. What are those? We are supposed to discuss the same. A one-way relationship between a sender and a receiver that affords security services to the traffic that is carried on it. So a security association is uniquely identified by three parameters. What are those? We are supposed to look at the same. So there are three parameters: security parameter index, that is called SPI, IP destination address, and security protocol identifier. So what is security parameter index? A bit string assigned to this assay and having local significance only. So the SPI is carried in AH, authentication header, and ESP, encapsulation payload headers to enable the receiving system to select the assay under which a received packet will be processed. So there are some security associations that are being done so that the message could be delivered in the secured manner. So next is IP destination address. What is IP destination address here? Currently, only unicast addresses are allowed. So this is the address of the destination endpoint of the assay, which may be an end-user system or network system such as a firewall or a router. So next is security protocol identifier. So this indicates whether the association is an AH or ESP security association. So these are the three associations that are being associated with the same. So in addition, there are more associations. You can have a look at the same. So security association database defines the parameters that are associated with SA, that is security association. A security association is normally defined by the parameters. So various parameters are being there. Just have a look at the same. First is sequence number counter. Sequence number counter mean to say you are supposed to count the sequence number. So a 32-bit value used to generate the sequence number field in AH or ESP header is there. Sequence counter overflow. What is that? That is, there could be a flag that could be used indicating whether overflow of the sequence number counter should generate an auditable event and prevent further transitions of the packet on this security association that is required for all implementation. So next is anti-replay window, that is used to determine whether an inbound AH or ESP packet is a replay. Next is AH information, that is authentication algorithm, keys, key lifetimes, and related parameters being used with AH. So that are required for AH implementations. So next, have a look at the security association parameters. So what are those? You can have a look at the same. So there are four parameters: ESP information, encryption and authentication algorithms, keys, initialization values, key lifetimes, and related parameters being used with ESP. So that are required for ESP implementation. Next is lifetime of this security association. As the name implies, lifetime. So a time interval or byte count after which an assay must be replaced with a new assay or and a new SPI or terminated, plus an indication of which of these actions should occur required for all implementation. So next is IP security protocol mode. Next, that are concerned with tunnel, transport or wildcard that is required for implementations. Next is path MTU, that is any observed path with maximum transmission unit, that is maximum size of the packet that can be transmitted without fragmentation, and aging variables that are required for all the implementations. So this was about security association parameters. I will discuss the rest of the details in the next lecture. So have a look at all these slides that have been discussed so far. I think I have discussed a lot about IP security today. You are supposed to have a look at the same IP security overview that is being done, IP security architecture that is being done, authentication header, encapsulation security payload, combining security associations, and key management. So all the topics have been covered so far. So have a look at all the topics one by one. What is IP security? It is concerned with the internet communication protocol that is completely unprotected. So we are supposed to provide some kind of security here. So next is the security problem that has been discussed, that is concerned with these 3 points. First is public, second is untrusted, and third is unreliable IP network. So next is various internet threats that have been discussed so far. It could be data integrity, identity spoofing, anti-replay attacks, and loss of privacy. So these are the threats that have been discussed in the today's class. So next is there are 4 levels of security that is being provided. So this could be application layer, transport layer, network layer, and data link layer. So there are various terms that are being associated with all the layers. You can have a look at the same. So main concept is how IP security works. So that is the process that is being discussed here. So first we are starting with the application layer. So it is the original message that is that is to be transmitted. So it has to go through the 4 layers. So how it could be done, that I am going to explain here. Application layer is sending original message to the transport layer. That is the third layer. This is the fourth layer and this is at the third level. So data is being transmitted. So header is also added, that is authentication header. So at the network layer, data is being received and it is adding its data, and one more header is being provided. That is the identification of the network layer. So next data is received at the data link layer and it is adding one more header. So this is the whole packet that is being generated in this manner at the IP security layer. So this is the packet which is containing information about header and data. So this is the packet that is residing at the data link layer, and this packet has to be transmitted via network. So how it could be transmitted, you can see the process. Data is there in the packet and it is to be transmitted from the data link layer. So there is the it is transmitted to the network layer where it is provided with the header and data so that it could easily identify from where the data comes. So next is it is again transmitting data from network layer to the transport layer. So it is again adding the header, and in the same manner as it was received, it is again going through the same phases and it is being received by the receiver. So this is the transport layer concept, and it is transmitting the original message to the application layer. So next is what are the main concerns about IP security. So these are the 3 main topics that are concerned with IP security. First one is authentication, second is confidentiality, and third is key management. So these are the 3 terms that are being associated with IP security. So have a look at the same. What is authentication, what is confidentiality, and what is key management, that has been discussed already. So this is the whole scenario of the IP security in which you are supposed to transmit packets. So this is the whole process. This is the system and this is the system that is receiving the information. So 2 networks are being used. First is public network and second is private network. What is the what is the interpretation for the public network and what is the interpretation for the private network? So next is we have discussed applications of the IP security. What are the applications of the IP security? These are the 4 applications that are being associated with the applications of the IP security. So next is what are the benefits of IP security that we have discussed. So you can have a look at the same. Next is IP security documents. So these are the main terms that are associated with the IP security documents. Overview. This is the architecture. This is ESP protocol. This is AH protocol. This is the encryption algorithm. This is the authentication algorithm. And this is the key management. So this is the IP security services that are being used. Connectionless integrity, data origin authentication, confidentiality, access control, and limited traffic flow confidentiality. So next we have discussed a little bit about security association. What are the parameters that are being associated with security associations? Have a look at the same. Security parameter index, IP destination address, security protocol identifier, sequence number, sequence counter overflow, anti-replay window, AH information, ESP information, lifetime of the security association, IP security protocol mode, path MDU. So this was all about my today's lecture. If you are having any kind of query, you can ask me. I am giving you a time of 2 minutes. Just go through all the slides that have been discussed so far. So write down an assignment for the today's lecture. Write down assignment. What is encapsulating payload? What is encapsulating payload? What is the function for the same in IP security? What is authentication header? How it works in IP security? So these are the two questions that are given to you as an assignment, and you are supposed to submit me in the next class. If you are having any doubt regarding these two questions, then we will discuss in the next class. So this is the book that is being given for your reference. It is book by William Stalling. In addition, there is a book that is by Atul Kahate. You can get it issued from the library. It is available in the college library. So there is a MCQ that is being given for today's lecture. There are 10 questions that are given here, and each question is having 4 choices, and you are supposed to take any one choice. So this is all about today's class. If you are having any query, you can ask me any question. Again, I am repeating the assignment. It is about encapsulating payload and authentication header. So you are supposed to submit me the same. Have a look at all the MCQs again. Take it snapshot and just submit me the answers via email. So this was all about my today's class. In addition, I'm going to make an announcement about your weekly test. You are going to have a weekly test about network security and cryptography fundamentals in on next Monday. That is next week, next Monday. So the timings are 2:20 to 3:10. So all of you are supposed to log in from your LMS panel, and you are supposed to do the same. And no excuses will be entertained. Your attendance is mandatory, as you all know about the same criteria is being followed for 2 years. So you are supposed to submit me the. You are supposed to take part in the test that is going to held on Monday. So timings are again I am repeating 2:20 to 3:10. So weekly test will be there for you for the network security and cryptography fundamentals. So if you are having any query, you can ask me. I am giving you a time of 1 minute again. You can go through all the slides that have been discussed so far. So this was all about today's class. Have a nice day. Thank you.